So apparently we got phase one, and let me say this: I think James Gunn's the best person to kind of take that Kevin Feige role for DC. I grew up a DC. I hated Marvel as a kid. Besides X-Men, which is the greatest cartoon of all time, and Spider-Man cartoons were cool. Everything else, bro, I like DC. Batman animated series is right up there with me with X-Men. All the Batman movies, I actually like Batman and Robin, but I was a little kid. Everything was colorful, so you know when you're a little kid, like if it's colorful, ooh, you like it. But I want to say since like 2002, Marvel been shitting on DC. The only thing DC has on Marvel are their series, but now Marvel's stepping up with the, if you want to include like all the WandaVision, Loki and all that. If you want to include that as series, now that they taking over with that, bro. But I always thought DC had better series, but their movie, there's like my problem, bro. They have no direction, and that's what I think James Gunn's gonna do. Like you shouldn't have Batman, the Batman over here, and then the Joker movie, which has nothing tied in with this Batman. Justice League is different from that Batman. Like we need a uniform how everything's going to be, and I think James Gunn is going to bring that. It's called Chapter 1: Gods and Monsters. So let's see what they're talking about.
Buddy, I'm James Gunn. I'm the co-CEO of DC Studios. So as many of you know, DC has been disconnected in film and television for a long time. And it's one of, our jobs, mine and Peter's, is to come in and make sure the DCU is connected in film, television, gaming, and animation. That the characters are consistent, played by the same actors, and it works within one story. And if something is outside of that, like Matt Reeves' Batman or Todd Phillips' Joker or Teen Titans Go, that it is clearly labeled as DC Elseworlds, outside of the mainstream DCU continuity.
So I don't like that, bro. I want just DCU to be uniformed. We need everything tied in together.
Lucky in terms of the 4 projects that are coming out over the next year. First, we have Shazam! Fury of the Gods. Shazam has always been off kind of in his own part of the DCU, so he connects very well. That moves directly into The Flash, a fantastic movie that I really love that resets the entire DC universe.
You notice that the only people, I don't want to keep pausing it, bro, but do you notice that out of everyone from the Justice League they're keeping is the one that got in the most trouble, that keeps going to jail? I find that interesting. But I think he does play a good... I don't want the Flash series guy, I forgot his name, to play the Flash of the future. I think this Ezra Miller is a good Flash. Unless you're going to find somebody else. He's kind of like... To me, Flash always kind of been like the Spider-Man for DC.
Then to move into Blue Beetle, a fantastic film about a kid who's a marvelous part of the DCU, and then into Aquaman 2, which leads directly into our next few projects, which I'm going to tell you about now. So, Peter and I, along with a group of very talented writers, have started to map out an 8 to 10 year plan of what DC Studios will be in film, television, and gaming. This first chapter is called Gods and Monsters. Now this, what I'm about to tell you, is a part of the first chapter. It's not the entire first chapter. The first project is Creature Commandos. Creature Commandos is an animated series. I've written all the episodes. Something we're gonna do that's a little bit different at DC.
Is that Weasel right there? From the Justice League second one? So we're starting phase 1 off with an animated series? I was hoping that we was just gonna recast like Aquaman, Wonder Woman, if we're gonna get a Green Lantern. I don't know what they're doing.
Is we're going to have characters move into animation, out of animation, usually having the same actor play their voice as who plays them.
Like Monsters vs. Aliens.
The next project up is Waller. This is a story of Amanda Waller, played by Viola Davis. Viola Davis is going to team up with members of Team Peacemaker, and this is a story that's been created by Crystal Henry, who did Watchmen, and Jeremy Carver, who created the Doom Patrol.
I guess it's going to take
a fantastic
after,
story that's out of this world, and I can't wait for people to see it. Okay, next up is the big one, the true beginning of the DCU. This is called Superman Legacy. This is being written by me. I'm in the middle of it. I'm having a great time doing it. And Superman will be released into theaters July 11th.
That's the big, bro. This is what's going to make or break DCU. If this is trash, whole DCU's trash, bro. This is what's going to really... So I guess the Batman, because I saw the Batman's coming out in 2025. Is the Batman not part of the DCU? I think they should. Because I heard this is supposed to be like year 2 Superman. I want to see less love and more action. I don't care about Lois and Lane, bro. I never have. Now I grew up on like the 80s. I think it's the 80s or 70s with Christopher Reeves. I grew up on those. I like those. Even though they still had love in it, bro. But Man of Steel to me is trash. Everything they had of Superman after Christopher Reeves to me has been trash. I understand they're gonna have to have Lois Lane like Peter Parker and Mary Jane, whatever. But Spider-Man was able to do it like right around the right amount. Superman, I think, never could, bro. And I don't know if it's the bad guys. He's like, I want to see a true Lex Luthor versus Superman. That's what I really want, bro. The whole Zed and all that, they cool and everything, bro. But when you think of Superman, you think of Lex Luthor, and I want that Superman versus Lex Luthor.
2025. Okay, the next thing is a big premiere HBO television series called Lanterns. This is a story of a couple of Green Lanterns, okay. John Stewart and Hal Jordan.
So is John Stewart, I don't want to be wrong, is John Stewart black? Because I know they said that they're going to have a black Green Lantern. Like, in the comics, I've never seen the comics. Because he looks black right here, so I'm assuming that Green Lantern is supposed to be black. This kind of looked like John Kerensky, whatever his name is. Jim Halpert. This will be dope. I think this will be dope. We need a good Green Lantern because your boy was trash. Great Deadpool, horrible Green Lantern.
And we have a few other lanterns peppered in there, but this is really a terrestrial-based TV show, which is almost like True Detective with a couple of Green Lanterns who are space cops watching over Precinct Earth. In it, they discover a terrifying mystery that ties into our larger story of the DCU. Next is a big movie called The Authority. The Authority is a passion project of mine. It's based on the marvelous Wildstorm characters we are now bringing into the DCU and will interact with all of our primary DCU characters.
I don't like this, bro, because like, I understand they're trying to bring new stuff in it, bro, but they need to bring the classics. To me, if it was me, I'll be redoing the classics and then slowly bringing these things in. It seems like the only thing we know is Green Lantern, Waller, and Superman. Like, you bringing this in, this is cool, but like, you gotta mix it in, bro. This needs to be like an appetizer. This don't need to be the full course.
Are a group of superheroes who think the world is broken and they want to fix it by any means
like the
necessary.
Eternals
I think it's a very different look at superheroes. We're doing a television series called Paradise Lost. Paradise Lost is a story of Paradise Island, usually known as Themyscira, which is the birthplace of Wonder Woman. It's almost like Game of Thrones with Westeros.
The birthplace. So this must be when, like, showing her Diana when she's young or something. So that's probably why they couldn't bring Gal Gadot, whatever her name is. Gal Gadot or Gal Gadot? Gadot? However you say it. See, they need. If it was me, bro, I'm bringing everybody in young so they can have a 15-year span, like how Robert Downey Jr. and everybody. Get them young, span. That's what I'll do.
Of Paradise Island. The introduction of the DCU's Batman is the brave and the bold. The Brave and the Bold is the story of Batman and his actual son, Damian Wayne. This is based on Grant Morrison's great comic book
Batman got a son?
Damian Wayne is my favorite
How are we gonna
Robin.
start out with him having a son, bro? Don't you gotta grow into that? That says film, so it's not gonna be a show. So this is what we need a great Batman and Robin movie. I understand we didn't have one in the 90s, it wasn't good, bro, but we need a great Batman and Robin movie.
He's a little assassin who Batman tries to get in line, and so this is the story of the two of them and the beginning of sort of the Bat family in the DCU. Next up is a TV series called Booster Gold.
He said Bat family, so that definitely means we're getting Batgirl, and everybody else is included. And I'm assuming we're going to get Supergirl, too.
Booster Gold is one of comics' really popular cult heroes. He's a fascinating guy. He's a loser from the future who uses future technology to come back to present day and become a superhero.
That's like
so
a straight homosexual.
It is basically the superhero story
from
of imposter syndrome on an HBO Max series. One of my favorite comic book series from last year was Tom King's run on Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. And so we're going to turn that into a big science fiction epic film. Now, Superman is a guy who was sent to Earth and raised by loving parents, whereas Supergirl in this story, she is a character who was raised on a chunk of Krypton. She watched everybody around her perish in some terrible way, so she's a much more jaded character.
Damn.
And that brings me to Swamp Thing, the last
thing
we're going to talk
Thing?
about. A very dark horror story in the origins of the monster who is Swamp Thing. And although it's totally outside of the rest of the DCU, it will still feed into the
didn't James Gunn produce the Halloween special for Marvel? If he did, then this is gonna be just like that, I guarantee. Cause he kind of Swamp Thing looks like that thing from the that Halloween special Marvel had. Swamp Thing, bro, I didn't even know it was part of DC. I remember they had like a show like in the 80s or something I watched reruns of. This is gonna be good. This is what I want to see. Swamp Thing.
Anyway, those are the stories that I can tell you about right now. I've loved the DC characters since I was a child. They're incredibly important to me. I knew that this was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to do something very different. One of the things that's very important for me in all of these movies and TV series is that the director's vision and the vision of the writers and all of the creators is unique and something special. Storytelling is always king. That's all that matters to us.
You gotta have passion
too.
too.
To those stories.
Passion's a big thing,
guys, and really give you something different than you've ever seen before. Anyway, thank you, everybody. I appreciate you watching. I hope this was exciting for you because it's really exciting for me, and I can't wait to start to dive into these stories with you guys on this grand adventure. Thank you so much.